Well, you'll encounter Shakespeare in the first half of paper 1. As far as planning your time's concerned, you've got about 50 minutes on Shakespeare, and the question will be in 2 parts. So you've got 20 to 25 minutes on each of the 2 parts of the question. Before you start, though, you should make sure you do some planning, and I recommend that you spend between 5 and 10 minutes doing the planning. There are 30 marks available for your Shakespeare answer, but there are also 4 additional marks available for your vocabulary, sentence structure, spelling and punctuation. So you need to make sure that you write your answer on Shakespeare carefully. You need to find the play that you've studied first, and you'll find that there's just one compulsory question on the Shakespeare play. The first part of the answer will be on a short extract from the play, which is printed on the question paper, and the second half of the answer will be on the whole play. You don't need to make sure that you write exactly the same amount on each of the 2 halves, but I think that's what you should aim for, about half your time on each of the 2 parts. The question is most likely to be about a character or a theme or both. But it won't just be about a character or theme. It'll be about the way that Shakespeare presents the character or theme. So what you need to do in your planning is identify some of the techniques that Shakespeare might be using in the passage. For example, he might be using imagery. He might be using verbal patterns. He might use words which suggest ideas that are key to the character or theme. He might use the verse or the prose in some particular way. He might use rhymes or repetition. It may be that in the second part of the question, you're asked to do something slightly different from what you were asked to do in the first part of the question, and you need to get your head round that before you start. When you first read the question, you need to look very carefully for what you're going to be asked to write about. Is there a name of a character? Is there the name of a theme? Are you being asked to write about a character and a theme at the same time? And you need to underline those as you find them. There'll also be a phrase in the question that asks you about Shakespeare's presentation. Find it and underline it. I think there are several things that will lead to success. The first one is to answer the question and to make sure that every sentence you write is answering the question. Also, you need to be clear about the character and theme that you have to write about. And you need to make very clear what your comments are on the techniques that Shakespeare uses to present the character or theme. And lastly, and really very importantly, you need to keep your eye on your watch while you're writing so that you don't overrun on time. Don't be scared about doing Shakespeare in the exam. You've studied it, you know it, you've thought about it. As long as you follow these tips about answering the question and timing, you'll do just fine.